Aprille Walker from the Yoga Ranger Studio, and today's Yin Yoga Snack is all about IT band relief. So if you are someone who has struggled with this outside edge of the leg and the hip, sort of the outer hip running all the way down to the knee, this is probably IT bands. They tend to get very tight, and if they seize up, they are extremely uncomfortable. I have actually had them spasm in the middle of a yoga class, and it freezes you in place. You can't move. So I know exactly what that feels like. We're gonna use 3 poses. All we need for this practice is a strap or a belt or a scarf or rope or something that you can use to leverage your foot later on. But we're gonna start on our backs in banana pose, Bananasana pose. One of my favorite poses to experience here. You're gonna walk your heels over to the right. Now you can keep your heels side by side, or you can cross that left ankle over. Start to move your upper body over to the right as well. Left arm goes up and over. Right arm grabs hold of that left wrist, pulls it a little bit. You can turn and look over your left arm or look straight up. After a breath or two, you're gonna press through that left heel. Relax and breathe into that entire length of your left side body. Remember that in Yin, we go to our edge and we pull back just a little bit. You don't want to go to the full extent of your pose because we hold these for 2 to 3 minutes each. Just take some deep breaths and settle into this pose. Settle into the sensations. Notice where you feel this, and everyone will feel this in a different place, in a different way. And even if you don't notice really strong sensations, look for those subtle sensations. Close your eyes. Start to extend your exhale longer than your inhale. Feel this lengthening of the side body from the left heel all the way through the left fingertips. If you start to feel some tingling in your arms, you can always take those arms out alongside the body or alongside the hips. They don't have to be up overhead. Just about 3 more deep breaths. Your last deep inhale and exhale. Fill the side body up as much as you can and exhale everything out. Start with releasing your hands. Move your upper body back to center. Unwind those feet. Take 3 breaths here. This is what we call the rebound effect, that space in between each pose, that transition. It's always good to stop after a Yin pose and take a little stock of how everything feels after the pose. Gently heading over to our second side. Walk those heels over to the left. Once again, either feet side by side. Remember, each side is different, so you don't have to, in Yin, do exactly the same thing on each side. Move your upper body over. Take that right arm up and over. Grab hold of that right wrist with the left hand. Maybe you feel it more on this side or less on this side. It depends a lot on how your body has been functioning lately. Maybe after a few breaths, you can deepen this pose, or maybe you're happy where you're at. Maybe you need to go back a step or two. If you feel yourself getting a little bit sleepy in yin practices, deepen your breath, get a little bit stronger. Breathe into the outside edge of that right side body, finding length and opening and space. Just 2 more deep breaths. Start to release your hands, move your upper body back to center. Uncross those ankles. Take 3 deep breaths here in the middle. If you ever find during your yin practice that your stomach starts to grumble and you hear a lot of noise down there, that's your rest and digest. That means that your body is actually going into the exact thing we want it to, the parasympathetic nervous system. I find that every time I do yin, it jumps right in there. I think it's trained at this point. It hears the word yin and automatically. So go ahead and bend your knees, bring your feet flat. You're going to roll onto your left side. Take that left arm out to the left. You're going to reach around, grab hold of that left foot with your right hand. Pull back just a little bit, release it, and then you're going to wrap the ball of your right foot with a strap. Okay? So you have choices here. You can go ahead and grab that left foot again and take the right leg out straight, or you can leave that left foot on the floor with your arm back behind you. Think about shifting your hips away from you and taking that left foot down to the floor, right foot down to the floor. You may be able to grab your toes. I still suggest using a strap just so you don't overstretch here, but if you have a lot more mobility in your body, you possibly could do that. Take some nice deep breaths. Let that hip shift down toward the end of the mat. This is cat pulling its tail with a little added IT bound stretch on here. Let that right shoulder head toward the floor if that feels good for you, and a little bit of a twist. Just about 3 more deep breaths here. Go ahead and release that bottom foot if you're hanging on to it. Release that leg with the strap. You can take that strap off. Bring the feet flat for just a couple of breaths here. And then go ahead and roll over to your right side. Once again, I find that it's a little easier to take that leg back first and then strap this leg, because then it sort of stays in place, but you may adjust it differently than that. Remember that sometimes a leg will not be reachable. Today, that's kind of the case for me. It's very cold here in Texas today, so everything on me feels a little bit stiffer. So if you find that you're someone who, when it's cold, you become much stiffer, more like the Tin Man, Tin Woman, that is very normal when it's cold. Think about taking that back foot down toward the floor, whether you're hanging on to it or not. Shifting your hips down a little bit. So I tend to kind of crawl that hip up toward my shoulder. I want to rotate it down toward the edge of the mat. Here you can rotate the shoulder back behind you or keep it level with the other one. Check in with sensations happening in the outside hip, side body, or wherever you feel them. Each side is different, each body is different, and each day is a different experience with Yin. Gently release that bottom foot. Bend the knee, take the strap off. Bring the bottoms of the feet flat to the floor for a couple of breaths. Notice how everything settles back or how it feels now. We have one more pose. You're going to take that right ankle, cross it over your left knee. Now you have a couple of choices here. You can grab onto that ankle, or you can use the strap doubled up to hang on to the ankle. So some people feel this is more comfortable. We're going to slide it over a little bit, and then you're going to shift your hips over to the right and drop that foot over to the left. Right arm goes out to the right. Pull that leg in a little bit more. Foot flat. Little twist here. Feel everything release with each breath. About a minute more to go here. last 2 deep breaths. Breathe into those spaces. Allow the muscles to relax. Think about just looking into that connective tissue, which is cold, long held. Stretch here. Go ahead and turn back to center. Bring your legs all the way back through the middle. Unwind that strap, drop the knees, walk the feet wide and drop the knees together. Just take a couple of breaths. Feel everything that there is to feel here. Now in our bodies, we are often focused on large sensations, like shocking sensations. And sometimes in Yin, there are those, but there are also these very subtle shifts in energy, the shifts in movement here for your body. Go ahead and cross your left ankle over. If you want to use the strap again, you can use that, or you can grab hold of the ankle with your hand. Just make sure you're down low on the ankle. Shift that leg over just a little bit more. Take the hips over to the left. Drop that foot over to the right. Left arm goes out to the left. You can turn and look over that left shoulder or not. Pull that foot in a little bit closer. Make sure it's definitely planted on the floor. Sense these very subtle energy changes in the body. That's the joy of Yin with our long holds and focus on the breath, is becoming much more sensitive and aware of everything going on in the body. Feel the muscles just release and relax. Just one more minute here. Remember to focus on that breath, lengthening that exhale a little bit longer. Last deep inhale and exhale. Turn your head back to center. Bring those legs back through the middle. Unwind that strap. Take it off to the side. Walk your feet wide. Take your hands to your belly. Let those knees drop together. Take about 5 deep breaths here. Nice deep inhales. Long exhale. Gently roll over to your right side and slowly make your way all the way up to a seat, whatever that may be for you. Bring your hands to your heart. Peace and namaste. I hope you enjoyed this practice and it helps relieve tension in your IT bands and makes you feel a little bit better. Please join me for other practices like this. There is actually a playlist that will include all of these practices under a certain amount of time. This one might be a little bit longer, but IT bands are really big spaces that really need a long stretch. So please take a few moments each day to kind of stretch those out, or at least once a week to take an opportunity to make those feel a little bit better for you. I hope to see you again soon for more of these yin yoga snacks and yoga snacks in general. Please check these out to fit yin and restorative and yoga into your day in under 20 minutes, whatever it may be. Thank you for joining me.